Do you ever feel like you're caught in a constant tug of war between a guiding inner voice and a nagging critic? What if I told you that discerning the difference could unlock your true potential and lead you directly to your highest good? Let's talk about how intuition shows up, how the inner critic sneaks in, and how learning to tell them apart can completely shift the way you make decisions, build relationships, and create a life that feels authentic. In my experience, intuition is usually calm. It doesn't shout or demand attention. It shows up more like a quiet knowing, a gentle clarity that settles in your body without drama. I have noticed it often feels almost boring at first because it isn't wrapped in anxiety or urgency. It's the kind of thought you can walk away from, come back to it hours later, and it still feels steady. That's how I know it isn't just a fleeting emotion, it sticks. The inner critic, on the other hand, is rarely calm. In my own life, it's been the voice that panics, judges, and throws a million shoulds at me until I feel paralyzed. Where intuition feels like a compass pointing forward, the critic feels like being trapped in a room full of alarm bells. It's exhausting and it rarely leaves space to breathe. To make this easier to imagine, think of it like radio stations. Intuition is that clear channel with barely any static, while the critic is the one yelling car insurance ads at you every 3 seconds. A helpful way I have found to sense the difference is to notice the effect each voice has on my body and energy. Intuition expands me even if it asks me to do something scary. The critic contracts me, shrinking me back into the smallest, safest version of myself. Science is starting to catch up with what spiritual traditions always said. Intuition, it's real and it shows up in the body. The gut-brain connection, heart-brain coherence, and what neuroscience Antonio Damasio calls somatic markers all describe how the body processes signals faster than the conscious mind. That's why you might feel a gut feeling about someone long before you have words for it. And this is where science and the lived experience connect. Intuition often feels like physical calm. My shoulders relax, my breath slows, there's a grounded yes. The critic, in contrast, makes my body tense, racing heartbeat, clenched jaw, spiraling thoughts. Think of a time you knew something was wrong the moment you entered a room. That wasn't magic, that was your body scanning microsignals and handing you the result before your brain could catch up. But still, the inner critic isn't your enemy. It's a part of you that wants to keep you safe. It's the overprotective guardian yelling, "Don't," whenever you step outside of the familiar. But often it isn't helpful in shaping your future. It keeps you looping in the past. Psychology has a language for this too. Carl Jung might call this shadow. In my own creative process, the critic shows up right before I share something vulnerable. No one will care, you will embarrass yourself, and yet those are usually the pieces people connect with most. The key is not fighting this voice, but reframing it. Instead of taking its words as truth, I now hear them as worry. I'm scared I might fail. Feels very different than you will fail, I will fail. That shift creates space for compassion. Some tools that help me: giving the inner critic a name or persona. Humor takes away its sting. As usual, journaling out fears and writing a compassionate response back is the new thing here. And ask yourself, is this warning about real danger or just about avoiding discomfort? Intuition grows stronger the more you listen to it. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the more reliable it feels. Start small, pay attention to what choices feel light or heavy. Notice how your body reacts when you think about saying yes and no. Keep a record of moments when you followed your intuition and what happens. Over time, you will see patterns that prove to you that your inner compass works. You just need to realize it. I have also found that honoring even small intuitive nudges, like reaching out to a friend at the right moment, builds confidence with the bigger calls. Changing careers, moving cities, stepping into new relationships. Each small yes becomes evidence that you can trust yourself. And when your critic jumps in, instead of shutting it down, thank it for showing up. Let it be one voice at the table, but not the one steering the ship. It shows up in your daily choices. For example, choosing between two job offers. Your critic might yell at you about salary, prestige, while intuition quietly points you to the role where you will grow. In relationships, intuition often nudges you towards people who feel safe and expansive, while the critic fixates on whether you are good enough or if you will be abundant. Even in the creative work, intuition says, share this, it matters, while the critic panics about judgment. Noticing these patterns in different contexts helps you see the intuition constantly feel steady, while the critic creates loops of fear. The more you practice, the clearer the contrast becomes. And the heart of it is, your intuition is your most personal GPS. Your critic is a very loud backseat driver. Learning the difference doesn't mean silencing one forever. It means knowing who to hand the wheel to. And to practice this right away, here's your journal prompt. Think of a time where you trusted your intuition and it led you well, and a time where you realized it was just your inner critic. What were the differences in how you felt? And if this resonated, please share your story in the comments. I would love to hear how you recognize your intuition versus your critic. And if you want more real talk like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss out the next one. See you then.